There's a figure that haunts our history. He shows up in the plagues of ancient Egypt, on battlefields where armies fall overnight, and in our deepest fears about what comes next. We call him the Angel of Death. But what if I told you that figure isn't actually in the Bible? Today, we're cutting through the myths to find out what Scripture really says. The truth is more fascinating than the legend. Let's get right to it. The exact phrase, Angel of Death, never appears in the Bible. Not once. But this is a big, but angels do carry out deadly divine judgments. In Exodus 12, during the Passover, a figure called the Destroyer strikes down the firstborn of Egypt. This wasn't chaos, it was a precise supernatural act. In 2 Samuel 24, King David actually sees an angel with a drawn sword sent by God to bring a plague on Israel. And in Isaiah 37, a single angel takes out 185,000 Assyrian soldiers in one night, an entire army gone. These angels never act on their own. They aren't rogue agents. Every single time, they are following direct orders from God. So if the name isn't in the Bible, where did we get it? It grew over centuries. Jewish tradition gave us the concept of Malach ha-Mavet, literally the messenger of death who was said to separate the soul from the body. Later folklore, sometimes borrowing the name Azrael from Islamic tradition, depicted him as the familiar Grim Reaper, a hooded figure with massive wings. But what's fascinating is that even in these legends, he's not evil. He's an agent of God's will. The Angel of Death is more folklore than scripture, but it's folklore inspired by very real biblical events. This is where we see that angels have very different assignments. Some are protectors. Psalm 91 says God commands his angels to guard you. Think of the angel who shut the lions' mouths for Daniel, but others are sent for judgment. The book of Revelation shows 7 angels pouring out bowls of God's wrath upon the earth, so maybe Angel of Death isn't a name, but a job description. This explains why we see different angels carrying out judgment at different times. Different angels, same divine authority, same ultimate purpose, to execute God's perfect justice. Now, you might be thinking, wait, doesn't Satan control death? It's true that Hebrews 2:14 says, Satan held the power of death. Notice the past tense. Jesus shattered that power on the cross. Satan tempts and accuses. He wants to destroy, but he has never been in charge of death. God makes his authority clear in Deuteronomy 32, I put to death and I bring to life. This means any angel carrying out a death sentence is on a leash, held by God. Satan doesn't have the final say. God does. Over every single heartbeat. Here's why this truth shouldn't be terrifying. For a Christian, it should actually bring comfort. Because if you belong to Christ, death isn't the final word. The Apostle Paul said he actually longed to die because it meant being with Jesus. As Jesus said in John 11, I am the resurrection and the life. The one who believes in me will live, even though they die. If you have put your faith in Jesus, you don't need to fear an angel of judgment. Death is just a doorway, and Jesus holds the key. That's why Paul could taunt death itself, asking, Where, O death, is your victory? Where, O death, is your sting? So is the angel of death real? Angels who carry out God's judgment are absolutely real. But the hooded rogue villain from the movies, that's a myth. The real story, the one you won't see in horror films, is that every angel answers to the same God who loves you. The idea of an angel of death is a powerful reminder that God is in complete control even over death itself. And if God controls death, he certainly holds your life. What biblical topic should we tackle next? Let me know in the comments, and subscribe for more videos that dig into the truth of Scripture. Thanks for watching.